What if the biggest reason your students aren't thriving isn't because of a lack of effort, but a lack of process? Now, let's talk honestly. Most schools pour their energy into instructional models, explicit instruction, direct teaching, step-by-step programs, and these are important tools. But here's the catch. Instruction isn't the same as learning. Now, instruction is what the teacher does, but learning is what the student does. And right now, most students, they don't know how to learn. They only know how to be taught. And it's not their fault. The system is designed that way. But imagine this. What if students could engage deeply with learning even without the teacher in the room? What if the energy spent on delivering content shifted towards guiding students towards thinking, questioning, and creating for themselves? This shift is the foundation of agency. And here's the thing. Everyone is talking about agency. Governments, schools, and educational leaders highlight it as a major goal for contemporary learning, but there's a glaring gap. Almost no one is explaining how to build it and how to measure it or how to sustain it. And that's where the agency learning models come in, one of the 10 constructs in a culture of excellence. And these models provide a clear, measurable pathway to develop learner agency, moving beyond buzzwords into real classroom transformation. Let me describe what's probably a familiar scene. You spend hours preparing lessons, you stand at the front carefully delivering content, you manage behavior, assignments, assessments, and the endless pile of marking. And through it all, there's a growing sense that you're the one doing all the work. It's because you are. Now, meanwhile, the most underutilized resource in the room, the learners, are sitting passively. They listen, they memorize, they regurgitate, and by the next week or the next term, it's forgotten. Now, why does this happen? It happens because without a model for learning, students rely entirely on the teacher to lead every step. Now, here's the shift that transforms classrooms. Most schools operate with instructional models, and those models focus on teaching techniques, how to explain, how to assess, how to deliver information. But instruction lives at the surface. Honestly, instruction is just transactional. A learning model goes deeper. It gives students the tools to engage with the content independently, building their ability to learn without constant intervention. It's the difference between teaching students facts and teaching them how to think. Now imagine walking into a classroom where students firstly create the questions, not just answer them. They build the success criteria, not just meet them. And they reflect, evaluate, and adapt their work without waiting for teacher feedback. That's the power of a learning model. It shifts the weight from the teacher to the learner, freeing you to focus on the moments that really matter. Now, here's where it gets exciting. There isn't just one way to create this shift. There are 4 agency learning models designed to progressively hand responsibility for learning back to the students. They aren't just abstract theories. They are practical frameworks that reshape the classroom dynamic, and I've used these with schools all over the world. The first is discovery agency. It starts here. Students engage in curiosity-driven exploration led by their interests and questions. The second is conceptual agency. And this is where the learning is driven by big ideas and essential questions that cut across subjects. It becomes cross-curricular or multi-standard in nature. The third is innovation agency, where students shift to exploring ideas and solving problems, designing solutions, and creating original work. And the fourth is empowerment agency. This is the final stage. Students take full ownership of their learning, setting goals, and pursuing mastery. Now, these models follow a simple but powerful idea. The teacher's role isn't to carry the learning, but to guide it. So let me tell you why this matters so much. At its core, learning is meant to be inspiring. But right now, too many classrooms feel like fact factories, focused on information delivery instead of transformational learning experiences. The best teachers ignite something bigger. They help students fall in love with learning itself. This isn't just about alleviating teacher burnout, it's about creating classrooms where learning feels alive, a place where students don't wait to be taught. They pursue knowledge because they're driven by the questions inside them. So let me focus briefly on one of the 4 agency learning models, conceptual agency. A conceptual agency is about building learning experiences around big, powerful concepts and essential questions that inspire curiosity, foster connections, and drive deep thinking. Now, these concepts might include things like sustainability. How do our choices impact the planet and future generations? Or belonging. What does it mean to belong, and why does it matter? Or compassion. How can understanding others transform our world? But this isn't just about introducing compelling ideas, it's about giving students the tools and structures they need to explore, connect, and create in meaningful ways. Now, at its core, Conceptual Agency is built around a four-phase process that ensures learning is purposeful, connected, and transformative. And let me walk you through those four phases. Phase one is planning, and of course, this is where everything begins. We select a global concept, which is a broad, meaningful theme like I just talked about, that gives learning depth and direction. And then we craft an essential question, an open-ended, thought-provoking question that sparks curiosity and guides exploration. Then we identify achievement standards or destinations so we know exactly what skills and knowledge learners are working towards. And finally, we map it out with a line of inquiry based on the 4 C's. Now, the line of inquiry comes from the achievement standards. So this learning is incredibly curriculum focused. It's not abstract or in any way. It's really focused on the quickest way to accomplish achievement standards. So the 4 C's are: first, curious. What questions will learners ask about this concept? The second is connect. How will they link these ideas to their own experiences or to other knowledge? The third C is communicate. How will they share their learning with others? And the fourth is create. What will they produce to demonstrate their understanding? In this phase, we're building the backbone of the learning experience. Now, phase 2 is activation. And this is where we light the spark. It starts with a provocation, something designed to disrupt thinking, spark curiosity, and make students lean in. It might be a powerful image, a controversial statement, or a complex problem that demands attention. Then we introduce Lesson 0, which we co-construct the learning experience with learners. We unpack the line of inquiry and the achievement standards. We build success criteria together so learners will have clarity on what success looks like. This phase ensures that learners are fully engaged and ready to take ownership of their journey. The third phase is implementation. And this is the heart of the process, the day-to-day work of learning. Each lesson has a clear objective, a footstep, that's directed towards the success criteria or milestones. And learners explore the global concept and essential questions through purposeful activities, guided discussions, and collaborative projects. For the teachers, collaborative planning teams play a crucial role here, ensuring the learning remains flexible, responsive, and aligned to the goals. The CPT determines the next steps in learning based on evidence of progress, identified gaps, or teachable moments that have appeared. In this phase, the learning is dynamic and it's guided by the structure of the model, but it's responsive to the needs of the learners. Phase 4 is reflection, and here finally we come full circles. Learners engage in self-assessment, reflecting on how their work aligns with the success criteria or achievement standards and justifying their progress. Then they participate in peer assessment, using proven frameworks to provide and receive constructive feedback. Then teachers conduct formative moderation, providing feedback that helps learners revise and improve. And the cycle continues until the learners are ready to submit work they feel confidently meets the success criteria. This phase reinforces ownership, mastery, and accountability. Now, conceptual agency isn't just another set of strategies. It's a pathway to transform how students engage with learning by shifting from isolated tasks to meaningful interconnected experiences, by empowering students to ask big questions and pursue deep understanding, and by guiding learners to reflect, refine, and achieve excellence through their own efforts. If you're going through my Conceptual Agency Masterclass, by the end, you will have a clear, practical framework for implementing conceptual agency in your own context. And you'll see how this model fits into the broader vision of building a culture of excellence. So, here's a challenge for you. Reflect on your current classroom and ask yourself, is the instructional model doing all the heavy lifting? And if so, are your students ready to step up? And are you ready to let go? If so, then here's the next step for you. If you're a teacher, take the agency challenge. It's a quick way to see where your practice is at, your readiness to shift more responsibility to learners, and where your biggest growth opportunities are, and it's absolutely free. If you're a principal or school leader, take the excellence snapshot. Now, 2 things will happen. First, you'll gain an instant insight into where your school is thriving and where the biggest growth opportunities are. And secondly, I will reach out to you personally to unpack the results. Links are in the description, or you can use the QR codes. If this spoke to you, hit the like and subscribe button for more content on transforming learning. Let's start creating classrooms driven by inspired learners, not just teachers. I'll see you in the next video.